All right, I don't know about you, but
Hmm?
it's becoming harder and harder for us to actually get into contact with people. I can remember 10, 15 years ago when I was selling real estate, it was easy to get somebody on the phone, or easy in comparison to now. Of course, we thought it was hard then, right? But now I just think there's no opportunities to waste. And in this segment, I'm going to talk about rapport and just some of the basic things that you could be thinking about and doing in order to build rapport with people when you connect with them. Because you may only get that one connection, that one opportunity to get them on that phone, that one opportunity to get in front of them. And if you don't connect with them, there's a very low chance that they're actually going to want to continue down a path with you to either buy or sell. So check this out. I hope you get a lot of value from it, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. So once we've dialed in our sales mindset and we have the leads coming in and now we're prospecting those leads, the next thing we got to talk about is building rapport. Because once you get on the phone and you connect with one of these leads, how are you going to convert them? You're going to convert them by building a strong rapport with them and helping them. And what I love to start out with when it comes to building rapport is understanding the DISC personality assessment and doing DISC training with your people. Because all salespeople should clearly understand not only their own DISC, but how to identify the DISC of others that they're working with. And there's always these clues, right? These word choices that people use, how they interact on the phone. It even comes down to maybe what type of lead source they're coming in from. So for example, when we started putting out 3 different signs in the yard of our listings, each sign has a different call to action. So there's the listing sign, and then there's like a free 24-hour information sign, and then we have an everyday open house sign. And all of those signs have a unique number. And when our agents get a call from one, what they'll know is, oh, okay, well, I'm getting a call from an everyday open house sign. So traditionally, that tends to be more of a D personality type or an I personality type on the DISC assessment, because they're totally cool with like interacting with somebody. So they have that I about them, or they're like, I want it right now, and they have that D about them. Whereas if somebody calls in on the free 24-hour information sign or the text sign, what they're typically saying is, I need more information, I need more details. I'm probably more of a C or S personality type. So when we get that lead source and we answer our phone, it's giving us those clues. So when you understand the DISC training and you understand what you are, you also understand what you're not. So for me, I'm a high D. So I have to really pay attention to the clues and the people I'm talking to. If I'm working with a buyer and they're asking me about different areas and crime and safety and schools, I need to make sure that I'm giving them the comfort and I'm using language with them because of their S or C personality type that's really going to speak to them and make them feel at ease. If I'm just trying to go quick, oh, don't worry about it, it's going to be fine, you're going to love it, and I'm just being real like high D with them, it's going to really turn them off, and they're going to feel scared and uncomfortable, and they're not going to focus on, looking at the houses and the process that we're trying to have here. They're going to focus on like, I don't like this guy. I'm out of rapport with this person. But if I take the time and I start to, work with that person and help them feel at ease and safe, and say things to them like, hey, this house over here on this side of town, remember earlier you were asking me about different areas and schools and stuff. One of the things I just want you to consider with this property is that this area over here and this schools and this crime rate isn't quite the same as the one we were over here. And I just want to make sure that you understand that as far as the difference in this property versus the last one. If you're willing to do that and share those details that are important to them and remind them of that, they're going to feel more at ease and more comfortable with you. So I think when it comes to building rapport, there's nothing that we can do training-wise with our team that's more effective overall in their ability to build rapport than it is to really understand personality types and who you are and how to identify what they are, and then speaking the same language. Moving on to the next thing that is much important is this idea of mirroring and matching. So identifying and simulating the body language of the person that you're speaking with. If the person you're speaking to is like, oh, they're all over the place and you're just very like calm and subdued and they're just kind of high energy, they're going to feel out of rapport with you because you guys are like total opposites. So I'm always trying to match the energy, the enthusiasm, and the body language of the person that I'm with. If I'm talking to somebody and they're, like this, like I'm not going to be exactly like them, but I might, at some point, be talking to them and looking down like they are, and they're going to feel comfortable because we're going to be mirroring and matching each other. If I'm all over the place like this and they're like that, they're going to feel like, whoa, this person's like in my face. Or, one of the things that I struggle with is this idea of a space bubble. Like, I like my space. So if somebody's like right up and talking to me like real close to my face, it really makes it hard for me to concentrate. And like all I'm thinking about is this person's in my space bubble. But if somebody's like that and you're talking at them way at a distance, they're not going to feel connected to you. So this idea of mirroring and matching is extremely important. And we need to do it subtly, not like, okay, I'm going to be a complete mirror of this person. But you have to mirror and match them in order to feel like they're going to feel like they're in rapport with you. And then also pacing. So if somebody's a really fast talker and they're like, da 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 da, and they're constantly going, and you talk really slow and you're very slow about getting your words out, it's going to be super hard for them to stay in rapport with you. They're going to be like, man, this person is like moving at a snail's pace. We'll see this a lot in our market because we're in the South and we have a lot of people come down from the Northeast. And, I'm from the Northeast, so we tend to talk faster and we tend to talk more. So if we're not pacing with them and we're not keeping up with their speed and their tonality, it's going to be really, really difficult for them to feel like they're in rapport with you. I struggled with this personally with my realtor when I moved down here. I had a realtor and, he showed me around and we looked at like 19 houses the first day that I was here and I came with my best friend and him and I are going back and forth and we're like in a house and out of the house in like 2 minutes flat. We're like, no, not this one. Let's move on. What do you got else for us? And he moved just at a different pace than me. He was very slow and there's nothing wrong with that. It was just that I felt disconnected from him because he wasn't matching my pace. If he would have matched my pace more, I would have felt like, awesome, yeah, we're accomplishing a lot. And it's just really important to notice, what is the pace of the people that you're working with? And if you can match their pace and you can stay kind of on the same level with them, you're going to find that they just naturally like you better and everything's going to be easier as you're going through the sales process. And then affinity. This is something that my wife says I've always naturally done. And it's just finding common ground with people, finding common interests. So, really taking an interest in the people that you're serving. What are their likes? What are their passions? Where did they go to school? Where's their job? And like, why did they like that job? Why did they get that job? What types of style of houses do they like? What kind of cars do they like? What are their interests? What are their hobbies? If you can find any common ground and you guys can talk about that and discuss that, that's where you're really going to build a connection with your people. And you're going to go from salesperson to trusted advisor, or even better yet, friend. And I can tell you time and time again in this business where, people with more skill, salespeople that have more knowledge or more experience lose out to somebody else, another agent, because the other agent was more of a friend to the person, the client, than them. And people will go with somebody they like, people will go with somebody who's a friend over somebody who has more experience because they feel that much more at ease and comfortable with that person that's a friend. So your ability to friend them is really based on your ability to find common ground and affinity with them, shared interests. So really pay attention and get to know the people that you're doing business with so that you can look for these opportunities to find affinity. I used to love doing this when I was a listing agent because when you walk into someone's home, it's such a personal environment that you can surely find things in the home, pictures, trips that they took, schools that they went to, things that they like, and you can find that affinity if you'll look for it and ask. So really, really important in building rapport. And, I just want you to be thinking about that as you go in. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to just talk and make small talk for the sake of making small talk. But if you'll focus on these elements of building rapport and you'll just have a conscious interest in it, you're going to find that your ability to connect with people is so much greater. And once you connect with somebody, it makes the whole sales process so much more smooth, so much easier, both for you and for them. So really pay attention to this and focus on what are the areas that you can build more rapport with your clients? Where are you missing out on this? What are you not doing?
All right. This is such an important topic that I actually have a challenge for you. I don't know if you've ever done a DISC personality test for yourself or you know where you fall within that, but I want to encourage you, if you haven't, to go out and get one done right now. You can type in free DISC personality test in Google and there's a ton of sources that come up. But go ahead and get your own done first so that you can really identify with who you are. And even if you've done this before and haven't done it in a while, I would encourage you to go back and do it, because you're going to get a lot of data once you take the test, and you can read through that, and it's going to help you kind of put the pieces together. And then my challenge to you is this. I want you to actually go out and purposely try to interact with 10 people this week and try to identify, based on that interaction, what their disc is. As you get into practice on this, it will start to become an unconscious competence for you. You'll be able to just see people and know who they are based on what they say and how they act, and it will allow you to be in rapport with them much greater, knowing these different personality styles that are out there. So that's my challenge to you. Go find 10 people this week and actually try to figure out what this personality they are after you've done it for yourself. Take care. Talk to you soon.